Welcome back to Case Closed Anime Review, Episode 44, Part 2. This one was not pre-planned like the last time I did this. The only reason why it's split in half? Very simple, really. Dinner was ready, and I was hoping to come back this right after dinner, but I had to take care of something else, something outside lawn work. But that's all done. Let's continue talking about these OVAs. Now, the first part I just basically covered OVAs 2, 3, 5, 8, and we just about finished with 9. Most of this one, I finished up 9 and basically talk about the final 3. Yeah. Now, some of the characters look like when they aged 10 years later. Though Serena and Rachel didn't really age very much over the course of 10 years. Genta, Mitch, and Amy all did age. Amy is pretty much it looks like the 10 years older version of her. She kind of looks like Serena. Genta pretty much is very tall, like normally he is. But he's still kind of chubby, but not as what he once was. He actually looked like he actually lost a little bit of weight over the course of 10 years. Mitch didn't really change very much, aside from the fact he grew taller. He changed very little. Anita, aside from getting a taller body, looks pretty much the same. Yep. But my problem with this one is the fact that this whole OVA was a dream. Yep, the whole thing was a dream. Yeah, so pretty much like with OVA, I think it was OVA number 6, one though with the vanishing, the one wasted a lot of characters' time. This one was interesting, but the ending was it made the whole thing completely pointless. It was nice to see older versions of these characters. It'd be nice if they actually go something like this in the near future. But who knows when it comes to this particular series? Yes, who knows? The OVA number 9 was okay. Now to talk about number 10. Kid in Trap Island. Yeah, this one involves, the Kaido Kid making his last appearance in the OVAs. Yeah, this is by far his fourth and last appearance. Unlike the last time where he affected zero of the actual main story, this one is an integral part of it. And there's some stuff I will talk about when it comes to the character's face. Yep, basically Conan is just vacationing with his friends on this island with Richard Moore, Serena, and Rachel like they normally do when they go out of town. Yeah, a lot of the time whenever they go on vacation in the OVAs and movies, Serena goes with the characters. In the show, she doesn't. I think the reason why is because, half the time they'll give her a lot to do. So, basically, yeah, how Conan found out that the kid was on the island was just by pure coincidence. Yes, he just magically ran into the inspector who just happens to regularly chase after the guy. Yeah, just by pure coincidence, the fact that he just happened to run and he's here. That inspector guy is here. It means that Kaido must show up and steal diamond. And he did, though he was supposed to have it later. Yep, steals the diamond, flies off. Basically, Conan chases after him. And of course, Mitch, George, and Amy. I don't think Anita's involved with this. No, I think she stayed behind. I don't really remember. They basically go out exploring, and of course they run into, and of course the Kaido Kid has basically had to ditch his monocle, his coat, his tie, and his hat, all because they're covered with leeches. And then when the kids run into him, they think he's Ichi Kudo. There is an explanation for this of why they think he's Ichi Kudo. Because Ichi Kudo and Kaito have the same face. And there is a reason for that too. Because the writer of the series Case Closed did Magic Kaito, and he loves featuring the Kaido Kid a lot. And so, pretty much the Ichi Kudo's face is basically a reused character model they use for the Kaido Kid. He's not the only writer I can think of who's actually have done this. Where they take other characters in different series and reuse their character designs for different characters. Kubo basically did this with one of his characters. Yeah, Soi Fong, her character design was based upon a character who appeared in the last chapter of his first series, Zombie Powder. I actually thought that was a good series, but got canceled to low sales. There's also Oda. Yeah, he's actually done this plenty of times when he reused character designs. Mostly he reuses the characters for Nami and Robin. He uses these two designs a lot. Yeah, he reuses the same exact designs for women, basically based on only these two. He can't do a woman any different than just these two. I mean, heck, you look at let's say Boa Hancock. She's very similar to that of Nico Robin, but the only difference is she's got a snake charm to her. Nico Robin basically is all about using her hands as part of their fruit power. The only other guy I've seen do this is the creator of Fairy Tail. Yep, he also has reputation to use as well. Though it's more noteworthy with Eden Zero, where he uses like almost half the characters' designs for that series are basically redesigns from Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail does use this a little bit, not like obvious like it was with Eden Zero, where in the case of Fairy Tail, Natsu is obviously a redesign of Haru, and Lucy is a redesign of Ellie. Yep. Yeah. So they're pretty much with him the whole time, and of course they confront the crocodiles, and of course Kaito does something that Ichigo never does: takes people's rubber bands and uses them to basically tap alligators like he's a magician. That's what Kaito is. He's a magician because he's son of a great magician, which of course the inspector constantly chases him. Has a lot of respect for his father. He was a big fan of his. In the case of this, now I think even if Amy was here, she would know that. Not Amy, Anita would know that. Yeah, this is not Shichikudo at all, and he protects them the whole time. Basically, just follows into the whole jungle, and then eventually they come across the owner, who it turns out that yeah, the guy was basically smuggling fake jewelry, but also smuggling guns. Yeah. And then, of course, when the Kaito exposes to the police, the man was arrested for a boatload of charges, mostly for smuggling, lots of smuggling. And heck, he was even charged with attempted murder of children. Yes. One of two times I've seen it where the villains really would like to kill a child. Lucky enough they don't. But this is a fantastic OVA, and a lot better than the sixth one. Yeah. This is one thing, Kyle Kid's part of the story, and he actually affects the story. He's not wasted for like 2 scenes, like he was in the sixth one. Number 11, The Secret Order for London. Yeah, this is simply put what the Junior Detective League was up to while Conan was off in the UK for a week. Yep, basically, what Anita did, she went to go spend the night at Amy's house. Yes, to get to over Amy, and she slept in her. I think she slept in her bed. Yeah, and apparently she slept till noon. Yeah, apparently she has a reputation for doing it. I think she has a reputation for doing this. And treats a lot of respect. Also talk about PB&J sandwiches. Of course, they go shopping PB&J at this special market, which has, well, American foods. Like, she prefers peanut butter and blueberry jam. And of course, well, Mitch gets a call from Conan to keep an eye on Anita and keep away from Professor Gass's house for a while. So, Mitch and Genta follow Amy and Anita, follow them around, and here's kind of the strange thing. Apparently, before Mitch left to go keep an eye on Anita, he comes across a fashion magazine. This also features the third ever time I've seen Mitch's sister. Yes. For someone who's a relative of one of the main characters of the series, she appears very little. Like, oh my god, this is only her third appearance I've seen her. She's appeared in 2 episodes of the main series and at least 1 OVA. Wow, it's like the writer of the series didn't care about her at all. At least give her at least a character, or at least do something with her. Instead, just pop up for a quick cameo. He comes across a fashion magazine, and he just happens to come across a model that has a striking resemblance to Anita. He does talk to her about this later. Here's the dumb thing about this particular OVA. They mention this woman frequently. They show pictures of her, and she doesn't make a physical appearance in the damn OVA. There's no, on-screen confrontation with Anita's basically someone has a physical resemblance to her. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, of course, they're followed by 2 other shady people. And it turns out they're scouts for a talent agency. And of course, well, the kid's been taken for part of the mafia. And of course, the police officer actually understands the misunderstanding. Because the way they dress, they look like they're from the mafia. and they think that she's the actual model. Nope, she really isn't. And apparently she has a liking for PB&J sandwiches. Okay. And then, of course, they come home. They run into Aki in a Subaru design in disguise. Yeah, this is by far the only time he actually appears in the OVAs I've seen. Yeah, his only appearance. He does appear a couple times in Magic Files, but outside of the main series, Aki doesn't really appear very much. Like, shit, yeah, he doesn't at all, which is kind of weird. Yeah, because a lot of time, of course, he's been hiding. Fine, but at least make a physical appearance outside of the damn series. I think he does in some. He appears in, like, believe it or not, do you know how many movies he appears in? He appears in 2. I haven't watched it. He appears in the 18th film, and he appears in the 21st. He also appears in the 24th, which is coming out next year. Yeah. Of course, he basically has a package for Anita, opens it up, and what's inside? Peanut butter and jelly. Like several cases, like several jars of them. And of course, well, they want to eat it right away, so looking up that Subaru had some tasty bread he just bought, so try it out. Of course, everybody has some sandwiches, and of course, Genta is like, "Hey, I'll take some. I think it's Amy said, I'll take it up for my mom and dad." And of course, well, here's kind of the thing. Anita thought that probably has the sneaking suspicion that Professor Gossip bought it for himself, which she easily buys the fact it probably was for her anyways because how much she misses him. Yeah. When it comes to this OVA, it's really good. It's by far the only OVA that actually connects to the main series. Also, it's the only time ever in the history of the franchise where Anita refers to Amy, well, as Ami-chan. Because she refers to her constantly by her last name. She refers to everybody by their last name, surprisingly. And even the teacher does, well, in the OVAs. She doesn't do it in the series. No, she doesn't. She does not do it in the series, and yet in the OVA she does. I don't know why that she's written that way, but yeah. But it's a good OVA, and it's actually very loosely canon. There's nothing about this OVA says is not canon to the series. Yeah. Now for the last one. The Miracle of Excalibur. This one. Okay. There's parallels to the King Arthur story in this one. This one is all about baseball. Yes, lots about baseball. And of course, there's tons of references to Teki Matsui. I know who this guy is because I've watched some baseball. Yeah. Do you know what his nickname was when he was playing baseball in Japan? He was referred to as Godzilla. Why? Because he was unnaturally tall for a Japanese man. And he actually has played for the New York Yankees and the Oakland A's. I think he's currently retired. He was actually a pretty damn good baseball player. He even appeared in one Godzilla film, believe it or not. He appeared in Tokyo SOS for a cameo. And I was surprised he made a physical appearance in any movie at all, which makes him probably the only real-life baseball player that I can think of who actually has appeared in an actual movie. Who's not an actor playing a baseball player. At least he's an actual one. He doesn't make a physical appearance in here. The many parallels to Excalibur is that there's a baseball on the ground, and there's various attempts aside from trying to get this one little girl to pull this damn thing. And there's many attempts basically between innings basically where she's not trying to do it and very people try to do it. Like first it's a dog, and then it's Detective Boys, and then it's, believe it or not, Tagaki and Kaba. Yep, they actually try to lift the damn thing. And it doesn't go any place at all. Yeah. And the whole thing was basically a test for the team to basically regain their strength. And apparently this particular OVA was later used as a prototype for a baseball manga written by the same creator. Yeah, that's not a joke. He seriously did do that. It's just kind of bizarre. Yeah. But when it comes to these OVAs, some are good, some are bad. This one I think was that bad. I mean, I don't mind baseball stuff in series because I'm not exactly a baseball fan, but I do enjoy whenever they make references to baseball. I have personally nothing against it. It's pretty enjoyable. Though, here's the thing. If you go to an actual baseball game, you will get bored really quickly. That's the problem with going to a baseball game. It's not... The thing with baseball is, at times, it's not exciting to watch in person. That's the honest truth about basically going to a baseball game. Because I've gone to a baseball game because of how slow it tends to be at times. Some of the games I've been to, but most have been Rays games. and I usually fall asleep. Yep, because they are boring to watch. Very rarely exciting. Like, despite how exciting some games may historical famous games may be, regular games tend to be a snooze fest. Like, going to a Rays game is so. This just basically a team plays in St. Peter's because I like to call it the Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah, they are extremely boring. Like, basically, it's a snooze fest trying to sit through one of these things. hmm I'm looking up exactly what was the name of the base of manga that the writer basically. This is actually based upon one of his short stories, Excalibur. hmm Let's see. It was prototyped for Third Base Fourth. Yeah, it's a series by I think by the same guy who created Case Closed. Yeah, it's yeah, it was basically the basis for that particular series. Would I read it? I have no idea if I will or not because I'm not interested in reading that much when it comes to well stuff related to baseball and fiction. I don't mind references to it, to actual historical games, but reading about something like this, it's at times not interesting to watch something about baseball and fiction that much if you get exposed to it too much. But I might read it in the near future. And it's something though that this OVA is based upon actual work of the creator because almost all of these, except for two of them, are basically original stories. I wouldn't necessarily say this is canon. There's nothing that says this thing is canon. No. Yeah, there's nothing in the thing. It's canon. It's more like a comedy piece while having good like character stuff for it. There's this character named the little girl. Her name is Minnie, and there's a couple characters named one's named Kanta, who basically plays the same she does, and Akira, who are her childhood friends. Despite the fact they're still kids, anyways. These kids look like they're about 10 to about 12 years old. And the funny thing is, the ending basically it's implied by Anita. This is the start of a romance, a start of a love story. And this whole fake legend about Excalibur, about this baseball bat being put there, even though the coach put it there himself. Yep. But that's what it is when it comes to the OVAs. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. My next review, a Comic Corner. Yeah, one reviewing a trade from the library, the other course on a trade I got from Comic Con. Okay? But see you next review. Bye.